test. Test, 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 test.
We are set and ready to go. The Team Toledo Ice House, the host site for this year's Great Lakes Collegiate Hockey League Conference Tournament. The semifinal round underway. The 1 against the 4 will be Saginaw Valley and Northwood in our first matchup. And Toledo will host Western Michigan in the second matchup later on this evening. Brandon Lowe, good to be back with you once again at the Team Toledo Ice House as we get underway. A reminder that all of our broadcasts this season are brought to you by Stello's Burgers and Loaded Fries. Cam Barlas's shot knocked away to start this one by Mason Matthew up into the netting, so we'll get an offensive zone face-off for the Cardinals under a minute into this contest. One by Northwood. Back through the neutral zone. Northwood hosted this tournament a year ago in both semifinals. Were going on different sheets of ice at the same time. And so now we've got the back-to-back game. And the tournament championship will be tomorrow night at 7:30. The winner of both semifinals will advance to play for a chance to head to St. Louis. Todorovic leads the charge all the way up the ice, upended as he tried to come across the blue line and into the zone. Crawford comes in. He's leveled as well by Furtado. Now the Cardinals will try to get out and go the other way. They'll make a change. They'll leave Bryson Smith to pursue all alone, sandwiched between two defenders. Had help coming from Simerson. Northwood back the other direction. Good poke check there to get it back away. There's Simerson once again, thrown to the other end of the ice. Icing the call as the whistle blows. We will go back to the other end. We talked about Mason Matthew in goal for Northwood. On the other end, it'll be Brennan Cobb, the Ypsilanti native. We've yet to see Northwood get a chance to put one on Cobb. We'll see if they can do it here off the faceoff. They do win the draw, and that shot deflected into the netting before it had a chance to get to Cobb. Same face-off spot once again. Northwood will win the draw. Working through the corner, parallel shot, and Cobb makes the save that time, pressed tight to the post. Saginaw Valley wins the draw. Northwood will keep it just in front of the blue line. Siegert gets the pass away. Down in the corner, Northwood gets it back, but Echo. Rivera across. Budenko through the neutral zone, back down to Cobb. Cobb will reset there. Saginaw, a little bit of separation for Barlas to make the pass forward. As Northwood was coming back off the change, that shot deflected and went right on target, ended up right in the gut of Matthew. And we mentioned this was a battle of the 1 and 4 seeds. For those that didn't keep up with the league, just kept up with their team, Northwood comes in as the 1, Saginaw Valley the 4. So theoretically, on paper, Northwood the favorite here. Baker in, he'll take the shot. Cobb makes the save. Best look we've seen to start here from Northwood comes just shy of 3 minutes into the contest. Of course, some other big hockey matchups going on today. The semifinals in the Olympics. Canada a come-from-behind victory over Finland earlier today to move on to the gold medal matchup. And then the United States right now taking it to Slovakia in the second period. Matthew turns that one aside, back up into the netting. And the winner of the second semifinal will play Canada for the gold medal. Northwood looking to bring it out. Reese. Nice job there by Ronowitz defensively. Forces Northwood off the puck. O'Malley back. Hudvin. Hudvin throws across. Into the neutral zone. Rivera there again. Out of the crease comes Cobb. Pressured quickly there. Had to get it away. Icing will be waved off there. Cobb makes one save. Puck came back central there, and Todorovic was blanketed by Cardinals. Couldn't get a second opportunity. I will say, in as many years as I've been doing games for this Toledo group here at the Team Toledo Ice House, it is very unusual to see somebody else sitting in the home bench right now. As Northwood is. Face-off out to the left of Cobb. Northwood wins the draw again. Deflected right there at the blue line. Smith going to make a go of this. Can he get some help? Ethan Smith did what he could. Burgesson there. No-look pass back to Bryson Smith. Some contact there. Furtado went down. Let Garber know about it after the fact, too, that he wasn't happy with it. Hard contact in the corner. Both teams chipping a little bit right now. Garber in the midst of all of it. Burgesson back behind the net. Working toward the corner. Brings it out to the blue line. Back to Burgesson. Got by. Still back behind the net of Matthew. Little backhander there. One save. Puck still loose. Back through the legs. Came forward. Back to front. And Siegert couldn't keep it in the zone. Back out battling for it in the neutral zone again. Saginaw Valley takes back in courtesy of O'Malley. It's turned over. Here comes Northwood. Duffany up the ice. Puck forced away. Now Northwood trying to take a stab here at this end. Over 5 minutes in now. The Cardinals will go on a change. Duffany was there to Stephanus. Looking for the pass up the ice. Lost the puck. Allowed Northwood to take over right down near the front of the net. Rivera there once again. Here's McClellan. McClellan across. Stengline. Offside. Neutral zone face-off here. Saginaw Valley wins the draw. Dawson Davis, forward, up front, shot wide of Matthews there, off the stick of Millmine. McClellan takes it back, looking up the ice. There's Mole. Turned away by Cobb, stick save back into the netting. Cobb trying to play it tight, able to cover it up, had to bring it back to his body there. Knocked it down on the initial attempt. Able to cover it up. We'll have another face-off here. Northwood wins the draw once again, an area they've been good at to start here in this semifinal. Crawford throws in, Ronowitz after it. He's got some help. Davis again. Still with Davis. Separation there as he got it back to Callan. Callan a game of back and forth with Crawford as teams swap possession. Bedenko. Across, Crawford up the ice. Cobb out of net there. This one deflected right out in front. Cardinals able to play in out of a precarious position. Bedenko. Cobb the stop. Puck stays live. Rivera from the blue line. Gets by one defender, fires a wrister, and Cobb will make the save. Puck played toward the front of the net. Cobb going to quickly cover it back up. Seems like as this contest goes along here in the first period, Northwood getting closer to knocking on that front door. But Cobb's been solid thus far. Burgesson had it off the draw for Tato there for the moment. Stengline toward the front of the net. It was turned away by Cobb. Been a couple minutes since we saw Saginaw Valley up the ice the last time. Rivera here. Big hit by Furtado. Leveled Rivera, who will swap out on a change. Playing for your season at this point in the air. Oh. Here comes Croston. The shot, they score! Owen Croston strikes first, and Northwood is on the board. Came forward with it out of the neutral zone all by himself. Eight minutes and 56 seconds into period number one. And we just mentioned how it seemed like Northwood was getting close. They've settled in after that opening couple of minutes. We'll have to see what the Cardinals can do to battle back. Here's an opportunity. Coming up the ice, Millmine, little backhander, couldn't connect with Barless. Here come the Timberwolves. Duffney looking back toward the center of the ice. Got by everybody. Barless once again, just beneath the low ceiling here at the Ice House. Davis heavily pressured there. Cardinals will force it out. Todorovic. Davis goes down, able to keep possession of the puck. Backhanded pass, finding one of his teammates, given back away. Todorovic fires on Cobb. Cobb shifting to get back into position. Gets some help from Callan in front of the net. And now it's headed the other way. Ronowitz. Corner to corner. Can he get a teammate? Burgesson there, firing as he got there. And now it'll carry out. Callan unable to keep it in front of the blue line. And if your loyalty lies with Saginaw Valley here in this game, you'd love to see the Cardinals possess the puck a little more than what they have, only able to string together a couple of passes at a time, having a difficult time working across center ice, getting through that neutral zone and getting down at their offensive end. They started this game out shooting Northwood 5-3. Since then, it's been 9-0 to that point in favor of Northwood. Big hit there once again from Furtado, and this one draws a whistle as a lid has come loose. Alex Bedenko took a lick. Northwood will shuffle things up. They do win the draw once again. Blankenship. Shot blocked there by Furtado. Here comes Ethan Smith. Matthew able to turn it away. Blankenship makes progress back the other direction. McClellan trying to work around Blair. McClellan, open space. Crawford firing. Save made by Cobb. Out to the right of Brendan Cobb once again. Now working back behind the net. You have to imagine Northwood would feel great if they can get a 2-0 lead early in this contest. And for the Cardinals, it's still about how can you manage this? How can you get one back and even the score before it becomes 2-0? Over 12 minutes in now to this first period. Northwood leading on the goal from Owen Croston. Baker working with it out of the corner, trying to get it away there from Ashcroft on the other side. Ashcroft doing a real nice job for Saginaw Valley. But came just over the blue line. So the Cardinals have to clear and try to get everybody back in. Northwood's pass to Duffany. Out of his reach. They'll have to give it another shot. Same thing. Davis gets by Duffany. Davis is going to do it himself this time, trying to get around the outside. Pinched up along the glass. This one going to be kept in by Callan. Callan back to Davis. Open space. Again, just over the blue line before Callan was able to put anything on it. Dangerous near turnover. Siegert was right there. Could have gone to the front of the net uncontested had he gotten that one away. Northwood able to keep it just beyond his grasp. Burgesson. Up the ice, working far side. Shot fired. Matthew the save. Best look in a while we've seen from Saginaw Valley by way of Liam Simerson. And we mentioned the difficulties the Cardinals have had working up the ice. Now a chance with the face-off at this end to stay at this end, but you got to win the draw. They weren't able to do so. But still trying to battle here and keep the puck at this end. The Timberwolves able to clear the zone. Dangerous spot there off the right skate of Burgesson. Cobb had to go down and cover it up. Nearly in the wrong place at the wrong time for Memphis Burgesson. Puck comes free. Now here's Ethan Smith once again. Smith cutting toward the front of the net. Opportunity. He scores. Ethan Smith evens it up for Saginaw Valley. Impressive job to keep the puck away from the defender. Brought it from the away side of his body back across the front of the net. Terrific job there for Ethan Smith. And just like that, we're even at 1. And quickly back underway. Northwood trying to put Cobb under pressure. O'Malley trying to get there defensively along the boards. Here's Furtado. Lit up there in open ice. Garber once again. Garber has been a brute thus far for Northwood. Cobb will stop that one from behind as Ethan Smith gets his round of applause for Saginaw Valley's first goal. 5:37 left to go in period number 1. Even contest here. The Cardinals win the draw. Callan got it off to Pelletier. Back toward the front of the net. Off the legs of Cobb. Pelletier now forward. Sigmund looks it away. Rivera across. Backhanded pass to the neutral zone. Davis on the end of it. McClellan will reset. Here's McClellan once again. Forward, Duffany. Turns back toward the corner. Blankenship from the blue line. Across the pass. And as they were trying to work it up to Croston, got away. Cobb able to cover it up, though, as it got right near the net. Within his reach. Northwood wins the faceoff. Blue line. Cobb keeps it in front. Burgesson there. Memphis Burgesson battling for the puck back behind the net. Out it comes. Cobb makes one save. Northwood going to have another opportunity with this one. Working out of the corner once again. There's Croston. Jumped up and got the bench there on the Saginaw Valley side. So we'll get another face-off here. Both teams will cycle things up. .422 left to go in the period. Right at center ice. Back at the stick of Gooley. There's O'Malley. Braced for impact there. He had it coming from Todorovic. Millmine forward. Has some help. Back toward the center. Couldn't get a shot off. Jammed up there once he got to the corner. Todorovic now. Saginaw Valley takes it back. Dooley lets it go to Rivera. Rivera finds Sigmund. Rivera once again after a brief change of possession. Callan in the neutral zone. Ashcroft back to Davis. Davis across. Callan looking through the middle, pass too far out in front of Sampson. And offside the call there as Northwood in over the blue line early. Backhander off the side of the net, nearly made its way in. Good look as best you could get from Budenko there from that position. Siegert. Sampson was there. Northwood takes it back. Burgesson to it first. Still with Burgesson. Off to a teammate now. Coming forward, Simerson jammed up. Got caught up in the numbers game that Northwood had the advantage. And offside once again. Stenglein in early. Twos across the board, 2:22 left in the first period. Locked at 1 apiece. Owen crossed in the Northwood goal, and then Ethan Smith on the other side to tie it back up for Saginaw Valley. They have the most recent. Came at 13:47 in this period. Stenglein battling. Now he'll go down. Bryson Smith, the backhander, away. Thrown toward Matthew, who will turn it aside with ease. Ethan Smith in there with Furtado. Stenglein takes it back. Here's Duffany once again. Back out it comes. Leo Crawford finds Temple. Temple forward. Duffany with the puck once again. Northwood in the midst of a change. Davis will get there first. Puck's forced away. Crawford trying to get there. He'll fire. Cobb turns it back toward the corner. Back to Crawford once again, trying to find an opening. Barless there. Able to deflect it away. High stick. .110 left on the clock as we come back into the neutral zone. Shire and Barless. Ashcroft. Garber and Crawford exchanges the defensive pair there as Northwood coming back up the ice. Cobb gliding back into position from one side to the next. A save made there. Here's Ashcroft once again. Millmine and Ashcroft working forward for Saginaw Valley. There's Garber. Away for Northwood, back up the ice. Here comes an opportunity. Down in front, they score. Tegan Shire. And Cobb got caught too far out in front that time. Back underway here, winding moments of the first period. Under 30 seconds to go. Duffany. Northwood trying to get one more to close this out, under 10, down to 5. And the period will come to a close, but Northwood strikes late in the first period to go up 2-1. The Timberwolves on top of the Cardinals early. Will step aside here from the Team Toledo Ice House, period number 2, when we come back. Back here at the Team Toledo Ice House, semifinal number 1 between Northwood and Saginaw Valley. And the 1 seed is leading. It's 2-1 after the first period of play. Ready to get back to it here at the Team Toledo Ice House. All of our broadcasts once again this year brought to you by Stello's Burgers and Loaded Fries. It was a late goal with just 30 seconds left in the first period that put Northwood up in this game. Saginaw Valley had evened it up about 6.5, 7 minutes prior to that. And we'll see what Northwood can do right out of the gates here. It took them a couple of minutes in that first period to settle in, but once they did, they've looked terrific since. But so has Brendan Cobb in net for Saginaw Valley. The lone blemish, really, that second goal where he just made a mistake and got too far out in front of the net. And that allowed Shire pretty effortlessly to find the back of the net. Got by Moulet that time. Todorovic. Deflected and up over the glass as it drops between the netting and the glass and out of play. Offensive zone face-off here for the Timberwolves. Got by Moulet again. Able to settle it back. Got it to Blankenship. Blankenship trying to bring it forward. Has some help. They were looking across to Gooley. Toward the front of the net, back behind. The Cardinals will get it out. Ethan Smith, the goal scorer for Saginaw Valley, trying to pull the same move he did back in the first and just couldn't get it all the way around. Matthew, who made a really good stop there, got the right leg out and in the way. Gooley, the shot and the save made by Cobb. Parallel shot at Cobb. Garber still with it in the corner. Fired in front of the net from the blue line by Temple. That one turned aside and once again into the netting. 2:12 into the second period here. It's still young. Shots on goal in favor of Northwood, 22-11. So 2-1. For our simplification fans out there. Shire wins the draw. Garber back to Temple. Temple from the blue line again. Deflected right in front. Nearly got by Cobb. He's made 2 great saves and now a third. Alex Bedenko redirected it just in front of the net. It hit the post, came back in front, and I don't know how Brendan Cobb kept that out of the net, but he did. But it feels like that point back in the first period, just before Northwood's goal, when we said, hey, they're knocking on the door of getting on the board. It seems like they're getting ready to light the lamp for the first time here in the second period. We'll see if the Cardinals can do anything about that. Millmine throws forward. Down into the corner, Temple to it first for Northwood. Around it comes Benenko there. Burgesson jammed up by Shire, turned over. Garber the shot wide off into the corner. Garber gets it once again on the feed from Temple. Given away, Joe Blair there. Benenko. Cobb comes out of the crease once again, deflected in front. It's been risky from Cobb a couple of times. This one just in front of the blue line. Now it comes out. Little backhanded pass from Rivera. Couldn't find the stick of his teammate, Sigmund, before it carried out over the blue line. Here's Ashcroft. Has Millmine and Barless. Ashcroft takes it himself. Matthew turns it aside. Millmine there, as is Beagle. Callan trying to get there. Northwood's McClellan. Back to Rivera. Rivera. Forward, McClellan trying to get there. He's tangled in a web of defenders for Saginaw Valley. And Ronowitz will take it back, trying to go the other way. Back and forth. But Northwood controlling a large portion of the possession and also time on attack. Saginaw Valley's had a hard time getting into that last zone up the ice. We mentioned, just seems like they can get a couple of passes but can't get over the blue line, and that's led to limited scoring opportunities, and that's part of the reason why Northwood is out shooting them 2-1. Baker trying to work through the Cardinals. Baker still with it. Shot deflected high. Came from O'Malley. Ethan Smith close in there. Bryson Smith as well. Backhander toward the front of the net. Ends up on the stick of Moulet. Up and out of play. 5 minutes and 35 seconds in now to the second period. Reminder, this is the first of two semifinal matchups. The winner of this contest will advance to the championship tomorrow night. They'll take on the winner of semifinal number 2 between Western Michigan and the hosting Toledo Rockets. Up the ice, here comes Gooley. Todorovic. Puck loose. Cobb tried to extend the distance between he and the puck. Just a little poke check from the goaltender. Working it around. Gooley again. No penalties yet in this game either. We've yet to see either team on the power play. It's been clean thus far. You see a couple of the Rockets walking through frame there as they arrive to the rink here. Western Michigan doing the same, coming in at the other end. We mentioned Northwood came in as the regular season champ. Callan off to Davis. Davis tied up. Northwood will take it back. Here's Sigmund. Sigmund firing. Cobb closes up. Ashcroft there. Looking for Barless. Still with Ashcroft into the neutral zone. Millmine there. Ashcroft has it back. Gets away from the contact from Rivera, who ended up down on the ice. Now he's got the puck. Here's McClellan now. Wanted to go to Stengline. Ashcroft back to Callan. Here's Garber. Tried to bring it across his body and around the defender. Couldn't do it. It was DeStefanis there. DeStefanis with the puck by a stick that's come free. It's become an obstacle down back behind the net. And we get a whistle, and we'll get a chance to get that cleared up as well. Neutral zone face-off. Still 2-1. Neither team yet to break the score here in the second period. Shot fired from the blue line right at Matthew, who's able to make the glove save. Into the corner, Croston there. Croston was the first goal scorer tonight. Gets it off to Moulet. High stick waved off Ethan Smith. And now we'll get a whistle. And for the first time today, we're going to see somebody headed to the penalty box. It'll be Reese Furtado. He's been physical all game, but the first time it's led to anything there. So now Northwood on the power play. Shire will win the draw. Garber. Furtado's penalty for hooking. Fired in, blocked shot there by a defender. Burgesson feeling that one. Gingerly to the bench for a change. Garber trying to bring it up the ice, and that one out of play. Deflected there, into the Northwood bench it goes. 28 seconds into the power play. Just shy of 9 minutes in as we approach the halfway point in the period and the contest. Northwood working far side. Out of the corner, back to the blue line. Here's Croston again. Croston back to the corner. He's got some help with Gooley. Got it close. They'll go back to the blue line again. Again, it's Croston. Gooley going to the corner. Croston back across the blue line. Duffany's there. Shot. Save made by Cobb. On the look from Leo Crawford. 56 seconds left on the power play now, so we've eclipsed the halfway point in that. So far, it's been advantage to the Saginaw Valley penalty kill. Shire wins the draw once again at the blue line. It's Garber. They're looking across. It's turned over. 2-on-1 opportunity here coming for Saginaw Valley. Millmine looking across. Connects with the pass. The chance brought back wide of Matthew. It was Ethan Smith once again. He was looking for his second of the afternoon. Northwood back in it. 20 seconds left in the power play. That one just by. And now Cobb is sent sprawling, and we're going to have a penalty coming on the other side. And Stenglein going to go for goaltender interference. And he's very happy about it, as you saw. So we'll be 4-on-4 for the next 15 seconds. And then if Saginaw Valley can keep it clean, they'll go on a 1 and 45-second power play of their own. Shots on goal differential still right at that 2-to-1 range at 27-14. So just shy of 2-to-1, but a chance here for Saginaw Valley to make up that margin and potentially get a goal once they go on the power play. 4-on-4, a lot of open ice toward the front of the net there. Wide of Matthew, Ethan Smith going to get it near the blue line, working his way toward the center of the sheet. Little backhander in front now. Saginaw Valley at full strength. So from the penalty kill to 4-on-4 to the power play, that one just gets by. It was deflected in front, but Matthew lost it in the mix. Down to the other end, Northwood clears. Cobb settling things up. Minute 15 left on the Saginaw Valley power play. Here's Davis. Davis trying to get back to it first in the corner and does. Has some help there from Simerson. Simerson toward the blue line. Across the blue line. Here's Bryson Smith firing Matthew the save. .56 seconds left on the Cardinals' power play. 8:43 left to go in the second period. All three of our goals combined between the two teams back in period number one, the last with 30 seconds to go, and that's the one that got Northwood ahead. Timberwolves win the draw. The Cardinals quickly get it back. Ashcroft calling for it. Blue line, a lot of room. Ashcroft working toward the corner. Here's Davis from the blue line. Ashcroft gets it back to the point. Matthew makes the save. Puck still loose in front. Saginaw Valley, really nice job to keep the puck at this end. 20 seconds left on the power play. They've still got a chance here with the man advantage. Millmine looking toward the front of the net. Backhander. And the shot there deflected up into the netting. 5 seconds left on the man advantage. But the last 3 minutes and 30 seconds have been ruled by the penalty kill, no matter which team it's been. Shot on Matthew there. He'll turn it aside with ease. Very important for the Cardinals to try to take advantage when they're already at that end, especially with the man advantage. You'd have to imagine that that was a big missed opportunity for them as they're down on the scoreboard. Stenglein out right into the play. Here's DeStefanis. Crossed in toward the front of the net. DeStefanis able to block that. Ronowitz. And that one deflected up and out of play as well. Sigmund for Northwood. Gooley got a piece of it. Gooley's going to get to it first. Looking back toward the front of the net, just out of reach of Todorovic. Todorovic there, some contact. Here come the Cardinals. Bryson Smith has Furtado. Bryson Smith trying to get to the front of the net himself. Forced away from the puck. Furtado there to help pick up the pieces. Down goes Furtado. Upended once again. The Timberwolves shot high of Cobb. Had the glove up. Here's Bryson Smith again. Turns aside a pair of defenders. Got by Siegert. Todorovic. To the corner. Gooley after it for Northwood. Timberwolves have seemed a little uncomfortable the last couple of minutes, trying to bring things back this way. Bedenko got a shot on Cobb. Northwood still with a puck. Moulet taken away. Here comes Simerson. Simerson up the ice. Matthew the stop. Furtado puts it back in front. And Matthew once again, two really good saves from Mason Matthew. Each one pivotal when you get to this point in the season. 5:30 left to go in the second period. Garber and Burgesson. Back and forth. Northwood with it. Garber after it. Beats Blair to the puck. Now it's McClellan. McClellan. There's Milmine. Barless. Siegert has it poke checked away there by Moulet. Temple and McClellan. Ashcroft has it now. The Cardinals have looked much better in this second period than they did in most of the first. That one got by DeStephanis all the way to the other end. Beagle brings it out. Baker there. Croston trying to get back to it. O'Malley's there. 4 minutes to play in the second period. Budvan overskated. Here's Croston again. Things opening up. Owen Croston, the shot. Didn't bring it back on target enough. That one up and over the glass. Another face-off coming. Once again, another reminder, the winner of this matchup will advance to the championship tomorrow night at 7:30, where they will play the winner of the second semifinal. Tomorrow's championship at 4:30. Cobb ends up with it down in the crease. We'll get a whistle here. Furtado was trying to get up the ice as quickly as he could, but all for naught. .3:17 left in the second period. Backhander from Garber. Furtado able to get it away, or at least out of the front of the net for the moment. Garber still with it. Shire trying to help out. Here's Ethan Smith up the ice. Knocked away, coming forward by Sigmund. Here's Shire again, the most recent goal scorer, back at the end of the first period. Across to Garber. Shire once again, front of the net. Garber's backhander, Moulet, back to Garber. Around all the way to Shire, opposite corner. Under pressure from Davis. Shire with it. Here's Callan now. 2 minutes left to go in the second period. And Cobb will cover it up. Duffany to Ashcroft. Taken away, Ashcroft trying to come forward. Duffany, the backhander behind the net, nearly taken back away. Forward pass to a stickless Cameron Duffany. 1:24 left on the clock. They'll go back to pick up the debris. Here's Duffany. Has the puck knocked away, able to get it back. Back to Temple. Burgesson takes the shoulder along the boards. Shot deflected. In the neutral zone. Sigmund, under a minute to play now. 45 seconds. Shire out in front. Can he do it again? No. Joe Blair blanketed Shire. Puck on the side of the net. Northwood scrambling, trying to get another opportunity here. 30 seconds to play in the period now. Shire fires, the save made by Cobb. Saginaw Valley off the draw. Here comes Furtado. Trying to come through like a wrecking ball. He was between, again, that web of Timberwolves skaters. Garber throws toward the net. Cobb will turn it aside. Garber quickly gets it back, looking for a pass. Garber tries to put it back to the front of the net. Shire, Garber. And time comes to a close. It stays 2-1 after 2. We'll step aside once again. Northwood stays in front here in semifinal number 1. Back here at the Team Toledo Ice House. Underway, period number 3 in semifinal number 1 between Northwood and Saginaw Valley. Northwood leads 2-1 here thus far, trying to clinch their way into tomorrow's 4:30 championship contest. Saginaw Valley, the puck. Northwood's been heavy right in front of the net. Cobb makes one save, puck still loose, and the net has come off. And a little bit of chirping there after the fact. And we'll get ready to have another face-off. Blankenship there. As hopefully now you're getting the audio through the right channels. I was all by my lonesome there for a moment. Our audio technician late to get back up to the press box here. But a loaded day here at the Team Toledo Ice House. Broken stick there on the initial attempt from Simerson. Into the netting, and the whistle blows. Crawford there in front of the blue line. Northwood in the driver's seat. No goals now over the last 22 minutes. Here's Garber. Ethan Smith there put his body in the way. Garber off to Shire. Western Michigan watching on from back behind the east end. Here comes Bryson Smith. He's got Furtado. He turns back, throws toward the front of the net. Matthew doesn't have to do anything as it came all the way across. Podenko, the pass forward. Here's Garber again trying to get to the front of the net. Garber wraps it around. Shire came in behind, couldn't put it on net. Shire to the blue line. Sigmund there. Garber trying to go forehand, backhand. And that one up off the advertisements. Garber and Furtado have been going at it all game. Both very physical players. They stay getting after one another there. Rivera toward the front of the net, caught a piece of Reese. And that one out of play as well. And a loose puck turns into a souvenir, and the crowd goes wild. All the way down the length of the ice. Rivera wins the race as the whistle for icing blows. Baker wins the draw. Backhand right in front. And Duffany gets turned away by Cobb. Here's Blankenship. Redirected in front. Wide open net. They score. Goal number 3 comes by way of Colin Baker. Three to 1 now Northwood. They've got the 2-goal lead. And just another unfortunate situation for the Cardinals where Cobb had one of his own teammates draped over the top of him, couldn't get back to position, and that opened the garage door for Colin Baker. Here's Baker again. Can they get after it? Baker takes another chance, turned aside by Cobb. Callan. Davis's backhander finds Callan. Barless working up the ice now. Barless fires. Matthews scoops. And he'll keep it in hand. From the blue line, fired. Cobb makes a save. He's down once again. Got some contact from Vanderdonk. Here's Davis. Trying to break out with Callan. Barless again, nearly taken away. The Cardinals just looking a little out of sorts right now. Crawford has it on his stick. Shire trying to get back to it and does. Toward the front of the net. And the whistle blows. Tripping going to be the call. And away goes Lucas Milmine. Limited penalties in this game. Both penalty kills have been strong. We'll see if that remains the story or if Northwood can find the back of the net. Shot jammed up there to the point once again. Here's Bedenko. Garber fires. Didn't get all of it. Broken stick on Garber. He'll have to go get another and come off the bench. No, they'll swap Garber out. On comes Duffany. Bedenko. Bedenko. Working. Back to Sigmund. Bedenko. The shot. Catches a teammate. And a whistle in front. And it appears we may have another penalty coming against the Cardinals. We do. And away goes O'Malley. And now a 5-on-3 is 91 and 92. Lucas Milmine and Ethan O'Malley both find themselves in the penalty box. Northwood with it. 5-on-3 here. Big opportunity for Northwood to potentially open it to a 3-goal contest. Down in front. Cobb able to shift with the puck. Vanderdonk was right there. Croston. The shot. Cobb the save. Trying to get back into position. Wide open in front of the net. And it's thrown all the way out into the neutral zone. And a penalty coming here. This one is going to be against Northwood. Donald Gooley to the penalty box. And a timeout taken by Northwood. Out of the timeout. 4-on-3. Northwood. Here comes Garber. Garber back off. Look to Sigmund, instead threw it across. Here's Sigmund from the point. Try to get it back to Garber. Davis is there. Puck down right behind the net, nearly at the front. And now it'll be cleared out in Saginaw Valley. They're going to have a man advantage down at the other end. Right out of the penalty box to the front of the net, stopped by Matthew. That was a great opportunity for Millmine, and Mason Matthew kept it out. A terrific chance for Saginaw Valley to cut it back to a 1-goal game. 15 seconds left in 4-on-4. Then Saginaw Valley will go on the power play. Opportunity for Northwood, though, knocking on the door. They score! Milos Todorovic. Seven minutes and 14 seconds into the third period. Todorovic gets the 4th goal for Northwood, and it's now a 3-goal game. The Timberwolves are closing in on a championship appearance tomorrow. Shot fired in from the blue line by Ethan Smith. And puck to the other end, and that one caught Leo Crawford right in the back of the dome. So they'll stop play there. Crawford went down like a wounded animal. Trainer came right out onto the ice, so Crawford will get a look once he gets over to the bench. .42 seconds left on the Saginaw Valley power play. Now down 3. They really need to get one here. Back behind the net toward the front. Sampson had an opportunity. Ethan Smith skating to the other end of the ice to get it. 25 seconds left on the power play. 12 minutes left to go in the contest. There were Bryson Smith. Into the corner, all the way around. Barless is there. Barless firing, rings the post. Puck stays free, but on the stick of the Timberwolves. Smith back to the corner. A stick has come loose. The Timberwolves back to full strength, looking up the ice. Icing called. Burgesson won the race, even as Gooley was coming out of the penalty box. In the neutral zone, Moulet across, Blankenship to the corner. There's Joe Blair for Saginaw Valley. Under pressure from Gooley. Siegert now. Bedenko. Around the horseshoe it goes. Garber to Sigmund. Forced out. Temple beats Ashcroft in the foot race. Whistle there. Here's Garber. Poke check there by Callan. Barless is there. Barless forward. The pass for Millmine out of reach. Here's a shot. They score. Pierce Ashcroft cuts the deficit back to 2. At 11 minutes and 35 seconds in the third period, Pierce Ashcroft, goal number 2 for Saginaw Valley. It's 4-2 Northwood. But certainly that's got to give some life to Saginaw Valley. Bryson Smith with it. McClellan. Taken back away. Bryson Smith up the ice. He's got Ethan Smith as well. Into the corner. Taken over there by Moulet. Baker. 8 minutes to go. Rivera. Two at first is DeStephanis. Simerson and Baker. Baker with it over the blue line. Sampson there. Pelletier pressuring Crawford. Crawford settles it back to Temple. Back behind the net of Matthew. Blankenship. Davis, 7 minutes to go. Barless. Wasn't able to read it. Turned back over. UU. Garber, the chance. Excuse me, that was Gooley. Callan now. Into the neutral zone. Callan once again. Across. Barless. Gets a touch before Sigmund gets it back. Back behind the net of Matthew. Burgesson got it away. Barless trying to get back to it. Long shift here for Barless. Now Rivera takes it back for Northwood. Garber pressuring Bryson Smith there. There's Joe Blair once again. Blair looking up the ice. Bedenko. Bryson Smith able to get it back to Blair. Here's Crawford. Bedenko. Backhander in. 5:45 left to go in the third period. Here comes Ethan Smith racing up the ice. Left side, the chance. Matthew, the stop. The shot, Matthew the glove save on the shot by Bryson Smith. .5:15. Time continuing to wind away. No friend of the Cardinals right now. Davis to the side of the net, stopped by Matthew. Davis turn and quick fire. McClellan there. The blocked shot and back to the ice. Fired in again, a quick shot. Burgesson able to get back to the puck first. Right now for Saginaw Valley, time is flying off this clock. For Northwood, it doesn't feel like it's going as fast as it should. Matthew gloves another one there. Ashcroft trying to get back to it. On the stick of his teammate, Millmine. Out it comes to Burgesson, taken back away. Here's Baker. Out of the reach of Baker. Blair has it. Duffany behind. Trailing, tries to turn it around in front of the net. Now it's Ashcroft. 2-on-2. Baker trying to get back into the fold as well. Millmine's backhander towards the net, ends up back behind. Blair after it. Northwood there as well. In the corner, Duffany. 3:50 to go in this third period. Northwood still up 2, 4-2. Trying to seal their spot in tomorrow's championship. And a penalty coming. And Saginaw Valley will have to send one to the box at a critical juncture in the contest. And it's Furtado again. So 3:41 left to go in the third period. For the next 2 minutes, Furtado's going to have to sit in the box and hope his team can keep this margin at what it is and potentially even try to get one back. You're getting to the point in the contest where you've got to pull out all the stops and take every chance that presents itself. Sigmund in front of the net. Cobb doing a nice job. The reach around from behind the net. They get another. Trevor Stengline. And if it wasn't certain before, it's close to that now. Duffany fires. Puck still loose. Ronowitz to it. Croston with the puck. DeStephanis in the neutral zone. The question becomes, is Saginaw Valley going to attempt to pull Cobb out and go with the extra skater? And it looks like they are. And here at this whistle, off the icing, the faceoff will go down to the other end. So Cobb's going to come off. 2 minutes and 19 seconds left. It's a 3-goal game. Back behind the net. Thrown back to the ice by Bryson Smith. In the corner. 2 minutes remaining. Barlas to Smith. Back to the ice. Croston fires the no look and the goal. Owen Croston is second of the game. He scored the first, and he very well could have just scored the last. And we're a minute and 45 seconds away from Northwood, the 1 seed, claiming their spot in the championship tomorrow. All that's left, other than the time, is to find out who they'll be playing. If you stick around with us, we'll find that out in our second semifinal between Toledo and Western Michigan. Offside there. Here's Burgesson. Lost the puck and we're under a minute. Crawford's backhander. Burgesson trying to take it away from Vanderdonk. Puck held up along the boards. Under 30 seconds left, and Northwood is going to move on, stick around, and stay in town. They're going to be playing for the Cup tomorrow. 15 seconds left. It'll be a 6-2 victory for the Timberwolves, and Woody the Timberwolf is going to be happy with the result. His group has a championship appearance tomorrow afternoon. 22 hours from now, we'll be into the first period here at the Team Toledo Ice House. 6-2, the final score. Northwood, the number 1 seed, they move on. They advance over Saginaw Valley. Stick around. Just a little less than an hour from now, we'll have Toledo and Western Michigan coming your way. Ben Brandon Lowe, thanks again for joining us tonight here for the first of 2 semifinals.